Hey there guys, it's Elo here, and welcome to a bit of a card discussion regarding Elder Entity Norden and what it's going to do in the TCG. Now, this is a card that we have just gotten in the TCG thanks to the new Megatins, and it's a card that many people have been looking forward to, and as well as dreading to come out in the TCG, and it's a very powerful card. Let's just break it down like that. So, in case you've been living under a rock for like the last year or so, just taking a break from Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, here's what the card does. It's a level 4 water fairy fusion effect monster with 2,000 attack and 2,200 defense. Nothing that game-breaking at first, but when you look at its effect, well, its fusion requirements aren't really that relevant, but it requires one Synchro or Xyz monster plus another Synchro or Xyz monster to be fusion summoned. But you can also use instant fusion for it, and that's the important part. The effect of it is, when it's special summoned, by any means, you can target one level 4 lower monster in your graveyard and special summon it, but that monster's effects are negated, and it's banished when Norden leaves the field. So yeah, what this card essentially allows you to do is to go into Xyz and Synchros really, really easily, and sometimes even fusions if you're playing the right deck. But this card alone just makes so many different plays viable. Like, just take a look at what it did in the OCG. It tore that metagame a new asshole when it was first released, and it was a mess. Like, FTKs were rampant everywhere, and it was just not a fun time. We're gonna be getting this card in the TCG, of course, and it's gonna be a bit of a pain to be like in this particular metagame, unless you're being one of those people that have Norden, because Norden is such an easy card to get your hands on now, and it's a very, very powerful one at that. But it doesn't just limit yourself to, like, as I said, Xyz plays. You can also use it for Synchro plays. You can use it to overextend. You can use it for fusions and stuff like that if you're playing the right deck. The only deck I really can't see be using this at all is Burning Abyss, but Burning Abyss was never for rank 4s or level 7 Synchros anyway, or level 8 Synchros anyway. So you really can't, like, let's just push that to the side for now. Now let's talk about the other decks that can actually use it, namely Star Seraphs, Satella Knights, Shaddols, and Necroz. Those are like the big decks that can be using it. Of course, Cosmo can also use it to an extent, like getting a good witch from your graveyard or something like that, and then just go for an Xyz play or something. I don't know if they actually use Norden all that much, to be honest, because Farm Girl is like their best monster, and most of their stuff gets banished anyway. So yeah, but Norden could actually be kind of useful for them in a sense, I guess. But yeah, regardless, I haven't played enough Cosmos to like really know how the deck runs yet. I'm waiting for their support to be released before I actually give a proper judgment of it, but expect a deck profile of it sometime in the future once Wicked Witch and Dark Destroyer is out in the TCG, which is after Dimension of Chaos is released. But that's for another time. Let's talk a little bit about what Norden can actually do. So in Star Seraphs, you get Sceptre back, and that does a lot of different shenanigans. Like, the thing is, if you have a sovereignty in your hand when you summon Norden and get your Sceptre back, or heck, even just another sovereignty, you trigger the sovereignty in your hand's effect, allowing you to special summon it and draw a card. So that is why it's so damn good in that deck. In particular, just because Scepter's effect, when it's overlaid and made and used as an Xyz material for a monster that requires 3 or more, its effect isn't negated in that sense. So you still get the pop 1, draw 1 effect of Sceptre, which is really, really cool. As for the other decks, namely Shaddols is probably the second deck that can use this card a lot, because they use the Star Seraph engine, I do believe, still. So they can, like, utilize this to a nasty degree. They can go into Xyz, they can fusion summon with it even, because Anoyatilis is a thing, thanks to this thing being water, which is one of the best parts about it for Shaddols. Sadly, they don't have a Miracle Fusion. If they had, this card would be just off the charts good in general. Heck, even just a Miracle Fusion for Shaddols would be kind of insane, but maybe sometime in the future we'll get that. I'm not sure if we will, but regardless. So the final thing about this is, of course, Satella Knights. Satella Knights can use it to an extent, not necessarily as powerful as, say, in Shaddols, but it's still a pretty decent card there, because it allows you to go into some other neat things, namely high material Ptolemaeus to go into some really, really powerful Xyz monsters later on, which is kind of powerful. You can also OTK with this card relatively easily using things like Fusion Gate and stuff like that, so yeah, that's a thing. Also, the Clown Blade engine is really, really strong with Norden, just putting that out there. Like, sure, we don't have Lava Wall Chain anymore, but you can still do nasty shenanigans once you get the Clown Blade engine running. Like Necros Crowns, I think it's called, Necros Clowns, yeah, is a deck that kind of like just took off recently, so, and Norden just solidifies that deck so much better. Sure, they don't have the friggin' Genlock anymore, but they don't care, they're still pretty damn strong. Like, yeah, next up is Mermail. Mermail is like a rogue deck that can use this card also really well, because you can use it to bring back things like, what's it called? You can use it to bring back Pike, to pitch something, to blow up a card, go into Bahamut Shark, and do all kinds of nasty plays with it, and stuff like that, which is really, really cool. You can, I don't think you can use it to trigger Lens Effect, because it gets banished during the end phase, sadly, but you can still use it for other things. Of course, you can also use it in Masked Heroes as a water target for acid, in a sense, I guess you could. You can also use it to make Absolute Zero by banishing it with Miracle Fusion, and you can do all kinds of cool things. You can make, you don't necessarily make Dark Law with them though, but you can go into Xyz plays and stuff like that too, so you can potentially be running something like a Bubble Beat-esque Masked Hero deck, which still works. To a very large degree. You can still make it fairly live and viable in terms of the meta, because Dark Law is such an amazing card. As for the rest, I'm not entirely sure what else could be really abusing this. Well, I guess Synchrons have an amazing card right now, because they just got the structure deck, and this card helps out Synchrons pretty well too. Not necessarily enough for them to be meta by any means, but the fact that they now have a level 4 that can bring back things like Jet Synchron, go into level 5 Synchros relatively easily, and then just make all kinds of crazy plays. You can bring back things like Dandelions and Synchro together with something for level 8 with a, like, what's it called? Well, yeah, with a Jet Synchron. You normal summon the Jet Synchron, play the Instant Fusion, get this guy, get Norden, summon back the Dandelion, Synchro for a level 8, then you just get your 2 tokens, and you can special summon back your friggin' your Jet Synchron after that to go for some even more crazy shenanigans. So yeah, this card is pretty off the walls in terms of what it can do. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this little discussion, and I wanted to know, is this card going to be like getting banned or something? I think it's ban worthy if it gets to run wild for too long. But I don't know what you guys think. Tell me in the comment section down below if this is a ban-worthy card, if you're going to limit it, if you're going to hit Instant Fusion instead. Like, what would you do? Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.